Well, where IPL is a chance for youngsters to prosper and make an entry into the international cricket, and IPL 2026 is on the cards. But in this video, we're going to tell you about the players whose career might end if they go unsold in the IPL 2026 auction. A very warm welcome to all of the viewers. You're watching NewsX. I'm Akash Kaushik, and with me we have
Kashish Dhawan.
And Kashish, the most important fact of this video is that there are several significant players that have had a role to play in the IPL over the years, but this IPL might be the last one for them. And if they go unsold, then they might never ever be able to return to the circuit of IPL.
Yes, that is true. There has been a few speculations about these top 5 players, and we are going to reveal the names to
Absolutely,
you.
absolutely.
I think it comes as a shock to me also when I talk about one of the players that has been part of my favorite franchise and on and off with Punjab. So his name is Glenn Maxwell.
Glenn Maxwell, one of the biggest names, and we're gonna start this video with his name only, because Glenn Maxwell, if he goes unsold, then there will not be a comeback for him in the IPL 2026 and even after that, because Glenn Maxwell is one of the power hitters and has had a very fantastic international career. No one can forget that knock that he played against Afghanistan in the 2023 World Cup, and that actually was a life-defining knock. But if you look at the IPL records, he hasn't performed well over the years. It's been like I remember that phase from 2016 to 22, where for 6 consecutive years he could not perform in a single game, and that's why his career might move to a decline, because he was never being able to perform in the IPL. I remember the 2013 IPL auction. He was the highest sold player of that particular option. Delhi Daredevils bought them, but ever since he performed in the 2014 IPL, but ever since the performance hasn't come.
The graph has been going down. And when we talk about the last 2 IPL seasons, so IPL 2024, he had a total just 58 runs.
Absolutely.
Sorry, my bad. 53 runs, and for IPL 2025 it was 48 runs.
See, no performance, single digit scores, then you get dropped from the team. You're not able to make a comeback. And when you come with such a heavy reputation, it goes like this, that when you come with such a heavy reputation and you're not able to perform, then very significantly, very soon, you get dropped out of the entire IPL circuit. It has happened with a lot of players in IPL history. You talk about Ben Dunk, you talk about Ben Cutting. These batsmen who used to smash sixes and had that kind of potential, who used to perform really well in the Big Bash League and the other T20 leagues going around. But if they don't perform big in the IPL for more seasons consecutively, then they lose their spot. Someone like Sam Billings is a very, very good example. Sam Billings has performed in the leagues all around the world. The same franchise in the Caribbean Premier League, he's performing for them, but he was never able to perform in the IPL circuit, and that's the reasons we do not see him in the IPL around anymore.
So when we talk about Glenn Maxwell, I really want to remind you of something so painful. The 2023 World Cup.
Absolutely.
So he performed there.
Yeah.
And immediately after that World Cup, we had the IPL. Like after a few months, we had the IPL, and we saw a major decline in his performance.
A major decline in his performance,
So 2023, he was one of the reasons that Australia beat us.
He was not just the reason that he beat us, but also one of the reasons, because the match I was talking about against Afghanistan, if Afghanistan had defeated Australia the other day, Australia would have been eliminated from the World Cup. Australia wouldn't have been the part of the World Cup anymore. But the more important fact about it is that even though he scored a 200 in that match, the highlight was
injury.
The injury and the do or die factor. With just one leg working and with just hand-eye coordination, he scored 200 runs and went on to take Australia past the winning line. And that's the reason, that match was the reason that they could qualify for the semis and then eventually the finals.
Yeah, of course. So I think his charm is not working when it comes to IPL. So his career definitely is going to be at stake now that he's not going to be with the Punjab franchise. Now he's not with RCB. So they'll have to look. So he has to look forward. Like what
But
is
there'll be-
left in me when it comes to
Absolutely,
IPL.
absolutely. And now he is in the later end of his career, so the other teams will not be highly interested
Of
in him
course.
because there's no bigger future. There's 1-2 year glorious years, definitely,
Yeah.
but there's no big bright future. The next big name is Moeen Ali,
Yeah.
the all-rounder from England who has had a significant impact in world cricket in all of the
Yeah.
formats, but in IPL not so much.
Exactly. So his career with KKR did not show much of a graph going up. So and he hasn't been able to perform so much with his ball.
Absolutely, not neither with the bat.
Yeah.
In six matches, I think he only had 5-6 odd runs and had a very terrible batting year. Did get 6 wickets,
Yeah.
but when you get in an all-rounder, when you give your overseas spot
Yeah.
to someone, you not just want them to spin, you just also want them to perform with the bat and give that kind of role that a T20 side needs. And it is gonna be very difficult for Moeen Ali because if he goes unsold, then he's a very traditional player. He
Yeah.
cannot hit those humongous sixes,
Of course.
or he's not bowling 150, or he's not a leg spinner, or he's not a wrist spinner.
Yeah.
So the options, the marquee players that you have in IPL are either of these. Either you're a big hitter,
Yeah.
you're a wrist spinner, you're a very quick bowler, you bowl really good slow ones. He's a simple off spinner
Yeah.
or someone who can bat.
So there's not much of an experimenting when it comes to his batting or his bowling, right?
Absolutely. So he needs to prove his worth in the new format of the game, and especially because IPL with the impact rule coming in,
Yeah.
it's even more modern than a normal normal T20 game. It's very fast moving,
Yeah.
and the need of all rounders has dipped. So Moeen Ali might, if he goes unsold and no team shows confidence in him, then I don't
high
think
chances that this might be the end of his IPL.
his IPL career. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now let's also talk about some of the Indian players, and one of the Indian player that I would like to talk about is Rahul Tripathi.
Okay.
Because when he came with Rising Pune Super
Yeah.
Giants back when they were there, he was one of the future superstars. There were talks that why is he not in the Indian T20 team? He had that weird stance and he used to score so many spectacular runs, but in the previous season for Chennai Super Kings, he turned out to be a complete disaster.
So yeah, of course, when you turn out to be a complete disaster like that, then a team like Chennai that has been trying to really change their entire their entire top order, bottom order,
Absolutely.
everything. The Chennai really wants to have a new kind of a balance in their team. Definitely, this might look like that you won't have a chance again with Chennai.
Again, but Rahul Tripathi, some teams might show confidence in him because there are several, because you need Indian players.
Yeah,
Indian
of
players
course.
never go out. A friend, good Indian batsman has always been around the circuit. But if he goes, even if he goes for a low price, I think some or the other team should go for him. If they
Okay.
don't, that's completely their choice. But the teams like Delhi Capitals,
Yes.
like Punjab, like KKR, they should go behind him because at least he gives you a good flexible batting option.
Yeah, like you said that he had performed previously really big with his bat, but
Absolutely.
he wasn't able to do that when it came to Chennai. See, Chennai itself has a lot of competition in the team itself.
It's not just about Chennai. It's about when someone performs really well in 2018, 2019. You want them to grow and mature in 2020, 21, 22, 23. But that maturity hasn't come. When he was performing and he was scoring good 60, 70 odd runs in 2020, we were expecting him to score 100 and to do that consistently in the 22 season, 23 season, 24 season, 25 season.
Yeah.
But he hasn't done that. Now he's not a youngster anymore.
Of course.
He's a senior player. He has experience of playing IPL for over 5 years. So now it's now or never for him. And I think really someone should get for him, because if such Indian talent keeps on getting wasted, it's not good for the IPL.
Then definitely, I think KKR can be one of the teams now that they have a really big bag. I think
it's not about the big bag, because I think people with big bag will not go behind this kind of a
but
player.
the thing is, KKR is also trying to experiment at this point.
Yes,
right?
yes, they would want to experiment, but I think they will go with the names that are
They are just
actually,
huge names.
yeah, they will go with the huge name because they have that kind of money.
Reputation.
Yeah, they will go with reputation, and they'll build a squad now. They'll build a squad of superstars. But now let's come back. The other player that's career is highly dependent on this year's auction is he used to be one of the very fine players. He's also made his debut for India, played India, and his name is Deepak Hooda.
So yeah, he got released by CSK.
Yeah.
And again, like I said, CSK has been trying to experiment a lot with new players. They
With new
want to
players,
have
yeah.
a fresh talent, young players, and more on the batting side and as well as the bowling side. So
Absolutely.
this actually puts Deepak's career at stake when it comes with CSK. And not just that, he hasn't been able to perform much with CSK.
He hasn't been able to perform at all for CSK, but I think the kind of experiments done with him were not fair enough also.
Yeah.
He is a big hitter. He should be utilized like that. He should play his game like that. But when this ODI race comes in, you also want to be at number 3. I feel that the initial role he was given back in the SRH days, he had to come down the order, hit big sixes, and that's it.
So, see, critics have already previously told that when they look at Deepak Hooda's performance, it looks like he is an ODI hitter. He does not look like a T20 performer.
hitter, absolutely. That's a very, very nice thing to say, because he can hit in 1 ball out of 6, 2 balls out of 6, and that's what you expect in ODIs. Not in the T20 kind of a game where you want to hit every ball for 6, where you want to score runs every ball. So that might be a problem for him there. But apart from Deepak Hooda, one of the very important factors, one of the very important players will be Kartik Tyagi.
Okay, so this is a young talent, right?
It is a young talent, but he got his opportunity way back. He was a very genuine fast bowler. I remember the match when he earned his name. In the last over, he defended 6 runs.
Okay.
He defended 4 runs. I'm recalling, I think he defended 4 runs of the last over. And he made a sensation out of it.
Okay.
He used to bowl at 150, bowl perfect Yorkers, a pacer, Indian pacer, bowling 145, 150 kilometers per hour, bowling laser guided Yorkers. But then injury happens.
Yeah, so he was really affected by that injury, and again that injury put him on spots like, how are you going to be back with the team? And that again puts, see, when you are suffering with continuous injuries, right, back-to-back injuries, that puts your career at stake even if it's with any franchise. Franchise would not want to have a player like that.
Absolutely, but this is not a thing with franchise players. It's a thing with fast bowlers.
Yeah.
So when you have a fast bowler and when you invest in a fast bowler, you are investing in an injury prone player. But you need those fast bowlers in your squad. But what the problem is now, if he goes unsold, there are 6 of batsmen that gets a chance, but there are only 2 to 3 fast bowlers that gets chance in an IPL game, especially considering Indian conditions. They don't want to go with more than 2 professional fast bowlers, maximum 3. So in that kind of option, you have to be in the top 25 of the world.
Definitely.
And if you're not there, you'll not get your chances. And I think that might be a problem for Kartik Tyagi. And teams are not looking for those many fast bowlers right now. But still, if he wants to be in that top one of the top fast bowlers uncapped in the Indian category, he has that kind of talent and he should utilize it. Again, I think some other team should take him and back him up. But again, the problem with fast bowlers is everyone wants a 23-year-old fast bowler. No one wants a 30-year fast bowler.
Of course. See, you don't want to try to experiment or try to work a lot with a player that has been that has been playing professional cricket for a really long time.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So you want to, it's a thing with every franchise that they would want to invest in a young player and they want to groom that player.
Absolutely. They want to groom that player and then so that they can also take out 5-7 years of his peak in their team. But that usually does not happen. So I think if Kartik Tyagi goes unsold, he might also be in one of those lost names. Talking about lost names, Kashish, these are the five players we talked about in this IPL season. There will be Glenn Maxwell, there was Moeen Ali, there was Deepak Hooda, there's Rahul Tripathi, and there's Kartik Tyagi. But apart from that, there have been several players who just got lost in the limelight. There was in 2011 there was a player called Paul Walthati.
Okay.
He scored a century and was one of the first Indians to score century in the IPL. He scored 121. That was the highest total of IPL at that particular time. But did you heard of him?
I even can't recall the name.
Absolutely, this is what happens. Then there's another player called Manvinder Bisla.
Okay.
Manvinder Bisla performed really well in the 2012 IPL final. He helped Kolkata Knight Riders reach to their first trophy ever. But he could not survive for more than 2 years after that. Have you heard of Manvinder Bisla?
No.
See, again.
So these are players I really haven't heard because again these players they are like those players whose name is never gonna come out in light until someone talks about.
Yes, they were one-day wonders. But and all of these players that we talked about, apart from Glenn Maxwell and obviously Moeen Ali, who have also an international representation. But Rahul Tripathi, Kartik Tyagi, 4 years down the lane, 5 years down the lane, even Deepak Hooda. their names might be forgotten, and the reason will be this only, that there was a constant 3-4 years of non-performance and then you are dropped. You don't get more than 2 to 3 seasons, even if you are in India.
That is true. And see, IPL is all about bringing players who have fresh talent and you can groom them over the years. But if you are inconsistent in your performance for like 2 to 3 years,
seasons, absolutely.
2 to 3 seasons, then of course the team will think about dropping you, and no other franchise would want you on their squad.
Yes, not just the team, the teams. The teams will continuously, they'll sideline you. They'll grade A players, grade B players, grade C players, and then that dip in the career continues to grow.
So I think these are the few players. And Akash, do you remember any more names that got lost along the way?
There are several other names. I can start and go on and on and on. There was someone called Civil Kaushik, who was a very, very mystery spinner, a leg spinner that was a mystery spinner. Such names do go away with time. There were several other batsmen who came and went. There was Baba Parajit, a player who was an under-19 well scorer. He was part of the team when Unmukh Chand was, but couldn't perform.
I remember Unmukh Chand.
Now talking about Unmukh Chand, one of the players, the under-19 winning captain. I remember the 2012 IPL, he was bowled the first ball by Brett Lee and his stumps were knocked out. And ever since then, Unmukh Chand, the under-19 superstar, the future Virat Kohli, could never make it to that.
See, I think that Brett Lee bowling him out itself was might have been a major hit on his mental state, on his performance itself.
Absolutely, it did, and it was a completely different story. But there are several other names that come and go, and if these 5 players don't want their names to be on that list, they need to pray for the fact that at least some teams buy them. But what you have to do is you have to stay tuned with NewsX and you have to subscribe to our channel.
To the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.